Today we announce the transaction where we've entered into an agreement to buy 36 Albertsons stores in the state of Utah.
36 stores we're buying are in good locations. They're good, what we call neighborhood markets. They're not right off the freeway, so you have to fight a lot of traffic in there. They're in the neighborhood, and we need to make sure that we're running them as part of the community, the neighborhood, carrying the items that the consumers want and expect in that area. The facility-wise, they're in good shape. We will have some capital expenditures to spend on them, but right now it's not so much the color on the wall as it is on how well our people are taking care of the customer, the quality merchandise in the stores, the freshness of our product, and that'll be the first things we go to work on. This has transpired over a number of years about the importance of Associated Food stores being able to grow, to be able to handle the needs of the independents in the marketplace. And so part of our vision has been to make sure we have the right distribution facility, which we do with the purchase of Far West and the recent expansion, and then the independent growth that we've been able to see. And now with these stores adding to our company as a sister company with Associated Retail Stores, will really help our buying capacity. It'll help reduce fixed expenses, and it will be a plus for our independent members through economic savings and the rebates that they'll be able to get.
I think the scale that we'll add to the dimension that we presently have is going to be enormous. I think the accessibility we have to consumer and guests throughout the Intermountain, and particularly in the Utah market, will multiply. I think our ability to promote our Western family label, I think opportunities for the independent grocer themselves in the future. These stores, the board has requested that we at some point in time make them available to qualifying members of the membership to actually purchase. I just think there's a whole host of opportunities it provides to the team and to the organization of Associated.
As we've talked through this with our board of directors, we understand that there will be some of these overlaps, some of these store competition, and they've already been in competition with somebody anywhere. So as far as a new competitor in the marketplace or a new store, there won't be. It's still the same amount of store. What we need to do as a company, and what we plan on doing, is make sure that our overall system benefits from this. Our goal as Associated Food Stores is to take care of our independent members. That is still our overriding factor that we deal with. Having corporate stores, having this new entity is brought on to help our independent members through the increased buying power, to the increased synergies and savings we can get. So yes, we are still competitors with each other, but we need to better the system, and that's what we plan on doing. It went back to our founder, Donald Lloyd, and his philosophy of how do you balance that playing field? How do you get in the prices to be competitive in the marketplace? In his world, it was the independents and with the chains coming into the marketplace. Today, to balance that field, we, as independents and as corporate stores, we need to do the same thing. We need to combine and use the strength of our facility to get the buying capacity we need so we can compete with current competitors in the marketplace and new ones that plan on coming in.
It does that by virtue of just the scale you represent in this market. I mean, it's something that vendors and manufacturers will take another look at in the allocation of promotional dollars and the categories in which we buy our products. So that can be huge in a cost of goods approach to things.
They will be a separate entity. The corporate stores that we have purchased, if you remember, all independent stores. They had a different independent mindset, a different approach to doing business, and we wanted to protect that within the stores that we bought. We wanted to keep the image of the Macy's organization being Macy's and Dan's, etc. With these stores, with the new Albertsons stores, they are a chain. They're more used to having the controls and being able to merchandise within their store, but the buying capacity and some of the programs will be designed, and all 36 stores will be able to get the savings and the synergies by enforcing the programs. So there is a little bit of difference when you talk about an independent and a chain. So that's why they're not going under the ARS banner, because of the independence. We want to keep the independent approach in our marketplace and in our company. Now that we've been able to add other AFS staff on, the marketing and design people, we'll come up with a new name. There is one that we have been kicking around back and forth, but without the expertise of marketing and design, we want to get their input on it before we go forward. But we will rebrand them under the new name to follow.
Customers will see, I believe, a greater sense of value. I think the Western Family private label that we'll introduce into those stores will be a huge statement of quality, but at a very significant price point that will be meaningful. I think we will go after a price perception that presently exists in the marketplace of being high priced and try to bring that perception into reality.
To the Albertsons employees, welcome aboard. We're excited to have you. We need you and we want you. We do not have a pool of people out there. We plan on the management team and the store people running those stores, and we're excited about having them. And it really comes down, we need and we want them, and we're glad to have them. They're great people. I know a lot of them from my time with Albertsons. They're great people. We have great people at Associated Food Stores. You combine that and we're just going to have obviously a great group of people. So we're excited about that. It's a great opportunity for us as a company, and it's a fun and exciting time for me. I was involved with Albertsons for a number of years and spent about 20 of those in the Utah marketplace. So I'm familiar with the stores. I'm familiar with a lot of the people that are still there today.
That is so fortuitous for us at this time to have Dick, having been with us now for almost 8 years and understanding our system probably better than he would have had we brought him right fresh from the outside in for this transaction. The fact that he has a legacy in Albertsons as having been the president and chief operating officer in years gone by has been very beneficial to us. If Dick can restore to these stores what Albertsons once was, we'll have accomplished something magical, and it will be to the delight of the customers that came to rely upon and enjoy the Albertsons brand. And I know of no man that bleeds blue Albertson still like Dick King. He bleeds Associated Red because he believes in the independent. But the parallel he draws is the Associated system is much like Albertsons used to be, where there was a lot of entrepreneurialism, there was a lot of spontaneity, a lot of ability to optimize one's talents. And he's excited to have this new opportunity to revitalize some stores that he has a great affection for. The initial comments we had as we met with the store directors this morning, the older guys that have been around for a while are looking at this as a huge opportunity to get back to the basics. And I think Dick will get them there. Timeframe, we just entered into the asset purchase agreement, which means that we have the intention of going forward to purchase. There has to be some approval from the FTC. We also have some due diligence that we need to do on some of the buildings. We have to have the inspection of those done, environmental issues, things that we couldn't do because of the confidentiality before that will take some time. But the anticipation is sometime in the fall is the terminology that's being used. We'd like to close the transaction and transfer ownership over to Associated.
I'm excited about it. I think it's a good move for our company and for all of us, and it's a great opportunity and somewhat a chance of a lifetime for us. So we're ready for it, and we're going to do it the right way.
20 years from now, I think they'll look at this as one of the milestones that gave this system definition. I think it's sometimes hard to relate how the acquisition of a portion of a chain is beneficial to an independent grocer, but I would very likely envision that a portion of these stores will be owned by independent grocers 20 years from now, and it may have been the platform from which additional entrepreneurs were created. I use the example of Mike Holm in Park City, of taking a Dan store, now having that as his own store and having his son involved and starting the legacy of another family-owned business. I think this has the aspects of adding to that dimension. It accelerates our growth by, interestingly enough, almost 20 years. So I think we'll look back and see that the platform that we've established here will only be leveraged upon, and we'll be again 20 years ahead of where we would have been at that point in time without this acquisition.
We're going to be glad we did this. 20 years from now, the people running this company are going to be darn glad that we did this.
I'm excited.